morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Al with everything according to Al. And do not adjust your TV set or your computer monitor or your cell phone. No, I'm not getting evicted. Um, Long story short, had some bees in my back wall back there. Yeah, I'll explain it at some point. Maybe not. But nonetheless, I had to move some stuff. Shout out to the homies that came through last night to watch Wrestlemania second night. And this is what this video is for. Now, of course, I was in my car at the end of Wrestlemania night one and gave my synopsis on it. This video is not going to be long. I just wanted to pair up part one with part two since I said I would. I was tired as a hostage, so I didn't bother to actually put anything together last night. I hosted a Wrestlemania shindig over here at my place, and it was successful. Shout out to Chris, shout out to Matt, Larry, DT, Tim. I think I'm missing somebody. If I am, please don't shoot me in the face next time you see me. Chris, Matt, Tim, Larry, DT. Shout out to all y'all cats for coming out, man. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna keep this brief because I just got off work and I wanted to actually get this up before Raw actually came on tonight. Last night was a vast improvement from Saturday night. Sunday felt to me more like a WrestleMania than Saturday did. Saturday felt like a shotgun Saturday night. It felt like a WCW Saturday night. It felt like a Tuesday Night Titan show. If you know, you know. These are all old school wrestling shows from back in the 80s and 90s and whatnot. So, first off, Oba and Brock, I still feel like that should have been farther up the card, but I understand now why they had it set the way they did for the first hour. The free matches on ESPN. So, Oba and Brock was basically passing the torch. I've seen videos in terms of how people didn't like it. Some people were indifferent. A lot of people loved it. I really liked it because I'm a fan of Oba. I'm also a fan of Brock, but let's just face it. Brock is getting older. He's 48 years old. Brock has a whole ass family. The man is paid. He's good. There's nothing else for him to prove in the wrestling world. I mean, he's been an accomplished MMA fighter, pro wrestler, amateur wrestler, collegiate wrestler. I'm missing something. He was even almost a Minnesota Viking, if my memory serves me correctly. So yeah, he doesn't owe anybody anything else. It's time for him to ride off in the sunset. Now, what I'm curious about is whether or not he will show up on Raw tonight to make his final farewell, because it looked like he was retiring last night. He took off the gloves, took off the boots, gave everybody his goodbyes, and I got kind of sad, because I mean, you look at a cat like Brock Lesnar, you look at John Cena, and I'm in my 50s, and I know we get older. There's only two ways to go once you're born. So hopefully everybody lives to the best or to the longest that they can. But, he's pretty much at a point to where he's like, it's done. I'm done. I'm good. I've done what all I needed to do. And I feel like the rub he gave for Oba, man, was great. Oba is being booked like he should, and that's a monster. Now, for a lot of people that might watch this, I'm going to say this real quick and I'm going to move on to the other matches. Oba is actually he's not being used properly. And what I mean by that is that, yeah, he's been pushed as this big monster, and well deservedly so, because the man is like, the dude is lumberjack strong. I mean, he has some feats. If you're not familiar with Oba Femi prior to him coming up to the main roster, please do yourself a favor and check his rise out, as far as his rise to stardom in NXT. I can almost guarantee you would be pleasantly surprised. One match a lot of people know about that you want to check out, you want to see his resume, would be Trick Williams, Obafemi, and Javon Evans. That was one of the best matches from 2024. But yeah, Oba is well deserved of that push, and Brock, from what I've heard, the rumor mill has it that he chose Oba to pass the torch. So hopefully the company will do what they need to do to put him in a position to where he can carry the company. The fans love him. I love him. I dig him. I like Oba. He's, to me, a better, and this is no slight against Bill Goldberg, but he's Bill Goldberg, but better. But yeah, Oba got the W. It shocked me with the way he got the W, but yeah, it was convincing. And as I mentioned, it was passing the torch. 6-man tag team match, in my honest opinion, was the match of the night. You had Javon, you had Penta, you had Dragon. God, I can't remember all of his name. You had Rey Mysterio, you had Rusev, and you had JD McDonough. That was a pretty good match. Solid match. I think that match should have been first to set the tone. But JD McDonough, all them cats did a really good job. There was some stiff, some not bumps, but there was some stiff segments in that match. Can't think of the proper name, but y'all get what I'm saying. Spots. There were some stiff spots in that match, but it was a really solid match. I was actually looking for Javon Evans to win, but I think Penta holding on to the belt makes more sense. I mean, he's very marketable. He's popular with the crowd, and I think Javon, in due time, is going to get his time to shine. I honestly think that maybe by SummerSlam we may see Javon Evans as the Intercontinental Champ, because he is well liked amongst fans as well. And then on top of that, WWE, they like to boast in certain things, and he would be the youngest Intercontinental Champion. So I think they'll probably run with that concept at some point, giving him a little bit more time in the ring. I think they're going to put him in some kind of program with New Day. I think it'll be cool if he went to New Day, but that's only if they were face, because I think making him a heel right now would be extremely dumb. But I'm just talking out the side of my neck. This isn't anything that's going to, I don't think it's going to materialize. And I'm going off the top of my head, so if I don't go match, that's how it actually appeared on the card. That's cool. Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. I thought Finn Balor, his interest was pretty cool. And I'm gonna speak on the interests before I end this video. But I think Finn Balor's interest was cool. Dominic Mysterio come out there looking like, an Aztec warrior with that big ass throne, reminiscent of what Triple H did. I can't remember which WrestleMania, but sometime back. That was a decent match. To back up for Oba and Brock, I would give that a solid B++. For the latter match, I would give that an A, because I thought it was a really good match. For Mysterio and Balor, I would give that a B-, C+. I get the feud between the two. I'm glad Balor won. That way he can move on. And maybe Judgment Day will pick up somebody else to replace him, which we may see tonight. Don't know. But as far as it goes, I think that that match was pretty decent too. Now that match could have actually opened up WrestleMania. But again, bring the brutes out there, Juggernaut versus the Hulk and everything, and try to get people sitting down watching it from jump. Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. I thought that match was a C++, maybe a C+. Jade decided to come out of her bag of tricks, and she showed a couple of things last night, and I was impressed. Shout out to my boy Larry. That's his secret crush. Well, it ain't really secret, but I think I ain't gonna say. But anyway, a C+. It was an offering. Now, what I didn't like about that match was how they just straight up announced that EO Sky was coming out there. Like, why would you play her music? That to me didn't make sense. But yeah, and still, I mean, I guess it's EO Sky. They wanted to make sure people knew that she was in the show, and they want to, whatever. But I think that was, a pretty decent match. Lord have mercy. I can't remember what match was it. Hold on, let me check. I should have been ready to come on, but I wasn't, because I was trying to go ahead and get in here and do what I needed to do. So I'm pulling it up on the internet, y'all. So all right, let's see here. Okay. Match. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that match. They actually came on, it came on after Finn Balor. Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. That was a no-brainer. I figured. I mean, that whole setup was to set up Trick Williams to become the Intercontinental Champion. So, I mean, as far as it goes, yeah, Trick Williams won because they wanted to put that belt on him. And rightfully so. Trick Williams is hot right now. He is basically one of the people to watch on SmackDown. So yeah, I kind of figured that. Now again, my only gripe with Trick Williams and that whole wedding, like whatever that sash was that he had, or the train like wedding dresses, that was kind of dumb in my honest opinion. But it worked for him, being this vain individual, blah blah blah. Lil Yachty, he did okay, even though I'm kind of on him. I still believe that Booker T should have accompanied Trick Williams. That way he could have done that chant. I honestly believe that probably would have been the best entrance in WrestleMania on both nights on WrestleMania 42. But yeah, hopefully this will precipitate, and I know I just used the wrong word, but hopefully this will actually bring out the evil Sami Zayn, because I don't like Sami Zayn as a face. I never really cared for him. Some people like him, some people don't. I don't too much care for him, but I feel like he needs to do a heel turn at this point. Oh yeah, shout out to Penta for the Shao Kahn helmet. That was pretty cool. Roman Reigns, CM Punk. That was a good match. Now granted, it was slow in spots. I didn't like the ending, the little rope-to-rope spear. I think at that time Roman was spent, just like CM Punk. But that particular match actually put me in mind of an old school WCW, psychological warfare. They've been talking smack between each other for a few weeks and stuff. It started cutting to the white meat, to the bone marrow, and it culminated in last night's match. I was rumored, well, I actually read a rumor rather, that Paul Heyman orchestrated the Roman Reigns match, as well as the match with Oba and Brock Lesnar. So if that's the case, then yeah, I can see that. Because Paul Heyman, to me, he's one of the most brilliant minds in professional wrestling today. And if you really wanted to know my opinion, I think he should actually be head of creative control for WWE. That crew, they ain't cutting the mustard, in my opinion. But yeah, that was a pretty good match. Now I would give that one maybe a high C, B minus, C plus, B minus. And the only reason why I give it that is because I think the match, and I know this sounds ironic, but I think the match went a little bit too long, to where it kind of showed that CM Punk is not at the top of his game now. He's in his late 40s and he's still in shape, but it seems like he kind of took it out maybe like 20 minutes into the match, but I still liked it. I thought it was a pretty solid match, putting Roman Reigns on top as the tribal chief and all that kind of stuff. I don't really care about Roman, but I do respect him in terms of him, being, having cancer and all that kind of stuff, being able to come back and work. So now it's a matter of what kind of storylines that they're going to be moving forward with. The blowout after WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure Oba's going to be on Raw tonight, talking about how he wants a shot at the belt. Somebody's probably going to come out and challenge him, because at this point, I don't know what they're going to do with Oba. They got to keep feeding people. Shout out to Ryback, feed me more. They got to keep feeding some people to him to make him look, like a menace. I think, and I'm going to cut it short, but I think at some point, I don't think they're going to wait until WrestleMania, even though Roman Reigns and Oba Femi at WrestleMania will probably get people to buy into that. But I think it might even be SummerSlam. I think they're going to high shot the belt on Oba. I mean, considering that Trick Williams got the belt as early as he got it, and he was on the roster maybe a week or two, maybe 3 weeks before Oba, and now he's the IC champ. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna hold out too long to put Oba, put the strap on him, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that at that. Now, one thing or two things I want to talk about real quick. WrestleMania was Ad Mania on both nights. Now, it seemed to be, it was a little better on Sunday than it was on Saturday. And I think the reason why I feel that way is because the matches were much better than the ones on Saturday. Saturday, the matches were abysmal to the point to where the ads that they were running and the time frame, as far as like the lull time, it really vexed my spirit. And I think those ads really got on my nerves. Now, I do know for Saturday, and I mentioned it Saturday night when I did my first video, that there were roughly, there was only an hour, taking away all the theatrics, especially with that foolish Pat McAfee crap. There was only an hour and 26 minutes of actual wrestling in a 4-hour show. And I read somewhere that the ads for the Saturday show was like an hour and 14 minutes. So the ads almost were equal to the wrestling that they showed. Now, mind you, this is WrestleMania, which I think now should be called Ad Mania. But yeah, that's to me is unacceptable, especially if TKO is not going to come down on their prices, which I don't think they are, because I mean, if they do, it won't be premium seating. Premium seating, I kind of realized that the $16,000 seats that they were selling for WrestleMania were for celebrities and for those who actually just have money to burn. WrestleMania has to be a trunk tight stacked card for me to come out of that kind of money. And even still, man, they're gonna have to start resurrecting people. They're gonna have to bring people back and revert them to the youth, like Prime Sting versus Prime Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Junkyard Dog versus The Rock in a bull rope match. Like, they're gonna have to really come out of their pocket, which I don't think they got it in their bag to do. But yeah, I don't really think TKO gonna do much. I could be wrong. They could prove me very wrong. But yeah, that was, the TKO thing, it really sucks. It sucks monkey balls. I didn't mention this on Saturday, but shout out to Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. Now, I will say that was not a WrestleMania moment. They could have dialed that in, quite honestly, on a Raw. They could have brought her out today. And if they did do something for WrestleMania, they could have just done a video package. To me, that was kind of like, nah, that's not really a WrestleMania moment. Now, I'm excited for them. I'm happy for them. Not really excited, but I'm happy for them. I love to see that love betwixt two people, but that really wasn't, the move for Saturday. But I digress. Entrances, God, I don't even know why they even try, because both nights, I mean, they really didn't do much. I mean, the Roman Reigns and the CM Punk entrances were cool because it harkened back to their past and all. But I mean, to me, the best entrance for WrestleMania My honest opinion was Jacob Fatu because of the fire dancers or whatever they call them. I thought that was cool. Everybody else, the Seth Rollins, the Randy Orton, man, you know, I could have done that in Microsoft Paint. I'm lying, but y'all get what I'm saying. So yeah, I don't know if TKO was just trying to skimp on the entrances and whatnot, but yeah, the entrances really didn't, you know, they didn't move me much. Finn Balor's was good, but yeah, other than that, I wasn't impressed with the entrances. So I gave night 1 a D minus. I will give night 2 a B. So I guess for me, if you combine both of them together, the law of averages, however that works, both of the shows for WrestleMania 42 as a whole, I give it a C minus. Night 2 was leap year and light years ahead of night 1. Again, somebody need to take the reins from Triple H and all the rest of them clowns, and they need to put somebody that is able to book properly with the talent that they have. And one last thing too, I don't like the fact that they're bringing people up, especially in the women's division from NXT, but then Paige comes back and you give her the belt. AJ Lee came back and you give her the belt. I don't like the fact that even though they are established stars, and I'm sure they've got some kind of drawing power in some capacity, but when you got people that's coming up like Jordan Grace, and then it's rumored that JC Jane is coming up from Fatal Influence from NXT, I think it's unfair to those women. You got other people coming up, Jada Parker, Blake Monroe at some point, Izzy Dame. I mean, you know, it's not fair for them to be working as hard as they do, but then you bring in Paige and you immediately just, you know, strap a belt on her, you know. But it is what it is. I'm just some dude in Macon, Georgia, just making a video about night 2 of WrestleMania 42. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you find some kind of enjoyment out of this video. If not, it is what it is. But if so, please like the video, subscribe, and share it if you know somebody that's interested in some wrestling information or some wrestling opinions. So I'll be dropping a video game haul this week. Silver Age Sunday is this Sunday at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I might also be dropping a comic haul video as well. I got to get to the comic store because I'm behind by maybe a month, so I got to get over there and get my comic books. I'm missing out on some things. So but with that being said, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. Again, subscribe, like, and share. And I am about to get some supper, and then once I get some supper, I'm gonna watch some Raw and see what's happening on there. Oh yeah, I'll be talking more about AEW and TNA as time progresses, and I just got back into watching New Japan, so you might see a little bit more wrestling content on the channel as well. So, but with that being said, y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all good people later. Peace.